Makhanda has dismissed with costs the urgent application by 4 parties for an interim interdict to halt the seismic survey by Shell along the Eastern Cape Wild Coast. Shell will continue with the survey. For more on this, we're joined by Hloniphizwe Mtolo, the country chair. Very good morning, and thank you so much for making the time to speak to us.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much.
The case has been dismissed. What is your response to this?
Yes, the case has been dismissed, so we welcome the decision by the court on this. While we welcome the decision, we continue to be very aware of public sentiment around this. And we continue to do the best that we can to assure the public that we'll be extremely responsible when we conduct this seismic survey. Shell has a long history of conducting such surveys, and we do this with the utmost care for the environment and in taking into account the marine life that we have to deal with in the oceans and otherwise.
When you say you're aware of public sentiment, what specifically are you talking about, and what have you done to reach out to the aggrieved parties?
We have received a number of interactions from our business partners who have requested additional information in terms of how are we going to be mitigating this activity. And we've shared to our business partners the ways of mitigating this to make sure that we minimize harm to the environment. We've also gone public through a number of media outlets where we've shared information with the public in terms of what we are going to do. We believe that a lot of public sentiment is driven by misunderstanding of what the seismic survey entails. Just to share, in the last 5 years, there has been at least 11 seismic surveys that have been conducted in South Africa. This has been done with the greatest care, and there has been no reported harm to the environment. By and large, public is not even aware of this taking place, purely because there hasn't been adverse results to the environment.
So the Border Deep Sea Angling Association and the Kaimouth Ski Boat Club, together with human rights law agency Natural Justice and environmental organization Greenpeace, you've just come out of a court battle, but prior to that, do you think there was sufficient engagement with them so that all parties could be on the same page about this process?
So there was sufficient engagements with identified parties at the time, and we continue to engage accordingly.
So going forward, how are you going to allay, when are you hoping to start the process? It was supposed to start 2 days ago, if I'm not wrong, and one of your contentions in court was that this is at a massive financial cost to Shell. When are you going to start, and just in terms of your efforts going forward to allay these fears?
Yes, indeed. The survey was supposed to start on the 1st of December. We've actually delayed it to make sure that the court take its course and we hear the outcome, which we have just had this morning. We are now getting ourselves ready to get started over the next couple of days. And during this period, we will do our best to educate and let as many people as we can understand the mitigations, as I've just indicated, that we are putting in place to make sure that there is no harm to the environment. We take the environment very, very seriously as an organization, and it is very close and very dear to our operations, and we will not, knowingly do harm to the environment.
Mr. Mtolo, just for context and clarity, why is Shell performing oil and gas exploration on the Wild Coast?
So, the South Africa does not have sufficient energy, what is required to generate energy in the country. And as a result, we saw this as an opportunity for South Africa to have an opportunity to understand what is below the seabed on our coasts. As I've indicated, this has been an ongoing for a number of years by a number of companies in the industry to really understand what's below the surface. And as such, we believe that if we can get economically viable resources below the surface, it will really bolster the government's economic growth initiatives and give us an opportunity to create jobs and also enhance our ability to supply energy to the country.
So some of your stakeholders or service providers have threatened to not work with Shell anymore. Are their concerns misplaced?
Indeed, a lot of our partners and a lot of our stakeholders that have raised concerns, that has come from a point of really not understanding in full the mitigations that we have in place to make sure that we don't harm the environment. And that is why I said earlier, we are engaging widely with these stakeholders because we appreciate the business partnerships, we appreciate people that do business with us, and we appreciate the general public in the country. And therefore, it is important that we do the best that we can to make sure that everybody understands what we are embarking on and how we are doing it.
We're going to let you go now, but just once again, finally, Shell's reaction to the outcome, the court outcome?
Well, Shell's reaction to the outcome, as I indicated, we welcome the outcome and we urge the public to spare small businesses in the form of our retailers as they are threatening to boycott these. I mean, the retailers are small business people that are trying to add to our economy by creating jobs and making sure that our economy moves forward. And from that point of view, we are really troubled by the sentiments of wanting to boycott these small business enterprises. Thank you very much.
Hloniphizwe Mtolo is the country chair for Shell SA, giving reaction there to the court decision. We're also trying to reach out to some environmentalists to get their thoughts on this outcome. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Mtolo.